Hi there, you're watching Nightline with me, Izabelle Choong. News making the headlines. Ministries, government agencies ordered to cut spending amid subsidy surge. Negeri Sembilan political crisis. Menteri Besar says he will abide by the ruler's decision and that of party leadership. Good morning. All ministries and government agencies have been instructed to reduce expenditure and reassess operational priorities. The directive issued by the Finance Ministry, MOF, is aimed at addressing challenges arising from global supply disruptions and the rising burden of subsidies. In a statement, the MOF stressed that the spending adjustments will be implemented without compromising critical public services or economic stability. The move forms part of a prudent fiscal management approach to optimize government resources and ensure continued support for the rakyat. It is reported that the MOF is targeting savings of up to 10 billion ringgit. A significant portion of the savings is expected to come from the Health Ministry and the Higher Education Ministry. Budget 2026 has allocated only 15 billion ringgit for subsidies. However, total government subsidies are projected to surge to 58 billion ringgit for the full year. This is due to knock-on effects triggered by the Iran conflict and the global energy crisis. Meanwhile, all official programs involving ministries and government agencies will be conducted on a more moderate and cost-efficient scale. Government spokesperson Datuk Fahmi Fazil said the directive was emphasized during the cabinet meeting on Wednesday.
Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri telah menegaskan supaya segala acara rasmi, bengkel dan aktiviti-aktiviti besar yang dilaksana oleh kementerian, agensi dan juga badan-badan berkanun atau GLC dan GLIC harus pada skala sederhana.
Fahmi, who is also the Communications Minister, stated that the government does not plan to retable Budget 2026 in Parliament, despite a review of ministries' operating expenditures. During the meeting, the Cabinet also discussed issues surrounding the country's crude oil supply, as well as measures to address the sudden spike in the commodities price. Fahmi also said Malaysia's fuel supply is expected to remain stable until June. The administration of the Negeri Sembilan state government will continue until a final decision is made. Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Aminuddin Harun said he will abide by any decision made by the Yang di-Pertuan Besar of Negeri Sembilan, Tuanku Muhriz Tuanku Munawir, as well as the party leadership.
Saya tegah kepada pucuk pimpinan pusat. Harapan saya segahlah apa juga keputusan kerajaan negeri akan terjadi. Kita akur dengan keputusan pimpinan kita. Saya rasa di AP pun serupa, saya pun serupa, Amanah pun serupa.
Aminuddin said this after chairing the weekly State Executive Council meeting at Wisma Negeri on Wednesday. He stated the meeting only approved matters related to public needs, stressing that the state administration must continue as usual. He also clarified that the vacancies of 4 executive councillor posts held by UMNO and Barisan Nasional representatives were not discussed during the meeting.
Kekosongan 4 itu kita masih kita tak bincangkan untuk pengisian untuk perkara tindakan selanjutnya. Kita masih menunggu ialah mungkin beberapa perkara mungkin berlaku yang kita tak tahu dalam tempoh seminggu ini, seminggu 2.
In another development, Aminuddin confirmed that no BN or Perikatan Nasional Assemblymen have contacted him to resolve the political turmoil in the state.
Tak ada perbincangan sebab ketika hari kejadian tu saya ada cuba menghubungi beberapa adun untuk mengesahkan, tetapi semua tutup telefon. Isu dia nak sokong saya ke tak sokong saya. Isu dia adakah presiden saya bersetuju.
He also stressed that any decision on political cooperation will be determined solely by the Pakatan Harapan leadership. The leadership crisis in Negeri Sembilan emerged after 14 BN assemblymen withdrew their support for the state government led by Aminuddin. The surprise move was linked to the Menteri Besar's response regarding issues involving the state's customary institution and constitution. On Tuesday, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said he supported Tuanku Muhri's decree for Aminuddin to continue carrying out his duties as usual in the interest of the state and the welfare of the people. Meanwhile, a closed-door meeting involving the four Negeri Sembilan Undangs or chieftains, the Tunku Besar of Tampin and the Datuk Shah Bandar was held on Wednesday afternoon. They were all seen arriving at Balai Undang Luak Sungai Ujong in Ampangan at around 3:30 p.m. and are believed to have discussed the ongoing customary and constitutional issues in the state. Several vehicles were later seen leaving the premises at around 6 p.m. Among those spotted were the Undang of Jelebu, Datuk Ma'ruf Mat Rashad, and Datuk Shah Bandar of Sungai Ujong, Datuk Baharuddin Abdul Khalid. Also seen leaving was the Tunku Besar of Tampin, Tunku Said Razman Tunku Said Idrus Al-Qadri, followed by the Undang of Johor, Datuk Muhammad Abdullah. Following the ongoing political crisis in Negeri Sembilan, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zaid Hamidi, who is also BN Chairman, informed the Cabinet on Wednesday that he will meet all the coalition's assemblymen in the state soon.
Jemaah Menteri turut dimaklumkan bahawa kerajaan perpaduan di peringkat persekutuan dan juga negeri-negeri, termasuk di Negeri Sembilan, tidak terjejas dan berjalan seperti biasa.
The Prime Minister had previously stressed that the Negeri Sembilan state government remains functional and stable. He emphasized that the federal government will also not interfere in matters concerning the state's customary institution. Moving on, the man who allegedly assaulted his wife, causing her to suffer a miscarriage in Sungai Petani, Kedah last week, has been married 9 times and is the father of 11 children. The 43-year-old suspect has been remanded for 7 days after being arrested in Alusta on Tuesday. The remand order was issued on Wednesday by the Sungai Petani Magistrates Court to assist police investigations, the penal code for voluntarily causing hurt. Family members of both the suspect and the victim were also present. It was reported previously that a woman believed to be 12 weeks pregnant suffered injuries to her body after allegedly being beaten by her husband, resulting in a miscarriage. During a media conference at the Kedah Police Contingent Headquarters, State Police Chief Dato' Azli Abu Shah revealed that all of the suspects' marriages involved women who were civil servants in several states.
Dia punya modus operandi cari orang yang pasangan yang mempunyai pekerjaan tetap dan kebanyakannya adalah kaki tangan kerajaan.
Initial investigations found the suspect is still married to 3 women, with his latest marriage having taken place in southern Thailand. Checks also showed that he has prior criminal records, mostly involving violence against wives and girlfriends. The suspect was the same person involved in a previous case in Johor 5 years ago, in which his wife went into a coma after she was assaulted. He was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment but was released on bail pending an appeal against the conviction. Political analyst James Chai will return to the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC headquarters on Thursday to have his statement recorded for the 3rd consecutive day. He was seen leaving the agency's building at 6:45 p.m. on Wednesday after 10 hours of questioning. Earlier, James arrived at around 9:45 a.m. to assist in the ongoing investigation into a 1.11 billion ringgit semiconductor project. On Monday, he was quizzed for more than 8 hours at the MACC headquarters. So far, the anti-graft body had recorded statements from 17 witnesses, including officers from the Economy Ministry and related agencies such as the Malaysian Investment Development Authority, MIDA. Previously, the Commission issued a notice on April 1st, stating that James was required to appear within 2 weeks after failing to show up on March 31st. Police have recorded statements from 9 individuals to assist investigations into an incident involving former Johor Bersatu Associate Wing Chief Datuk Tan Lek Kang, who is believed to have accidentally shot himself. State Police Chief Datuk Abdul Rahman Arsad said the incident occurred when the 40-year-old was clearing his firearm during a shooting practice session on Tuesday. According to Abdul Rahman, the 3:30 p.m. incident at a shooting range in Kota Tinggi was witnessed by several individuals, including the victim's 19-year-old stepson, a coach, 5 bodyguards, and 2 friends. He added that the preliminary investigations indicate the incident may have been caused by negligence.
Mangsa mempunyai lesen senjata api yang sah, iaitu dia mempunyai 2 pucuk pistol yang telah pun diluluskan penggunaannya.
Police have seized Tan's pistols, along with magazines and ammunition, to facilitate their investigation into the incident. Tan is reported. Malaysia's inflation moderated to 1.4% in 2025, down from 1.8% in the previous year. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSM, the decline is supported by a stronger ringgit, sustained household spending, and government initiatives. In a statement on Wednesday, DOSM noted that initiatives such as the Budi 95 petrol subsidy have helped curb further increases in inflation. The sectors contributing to inflation in 2025 were housing and utilities, health and recreation. In contrast, the information and communication sector, as well as clothing and footwear, recorded declines of 4.3% and 0.2% respectively. DOSM further said that 4 states recorded inflation rates above the national average in 2025, namely Johor at 2%, Selangor and Negeri Sembilan at 1.7% each, and Malacca at 1.5%. Gold price is projected to rise from 600 ringgit per gram to 750 ringgit per gram by the end of 2026. Economist Professor Dato Ahmed Kamil Maidin Mira said the ongoing West Asia war, along with continued gold purchases by central banks worldwide, is expected to drive the precious metals price higher.
Dari tahun even 201 I've been tracking, dia naik. Dari 200, masa tu RM36 satu gram. Sekarang dah RM600 satu gram. Dah tinggi dah harga dia. Tapi saya rasa dia akan naik lagi.
Ahmed Kamil revealed that gold prices have increased by 12% annually since 2011. In January, gold prices reached 764 ringgit per gram. The United States Federal Open Market Committee meeting is expected to influence global gold prices, and should the U.S. lower interest rates, demand for gold is expected to increase further.
Where do liquidity and valuations in Malaysia's capital market stand today relative to expectations? Are current efforts sufficient to deliver real, measurable incomes across the market? What will it take for the market to deliver sustained depth, resilience and performance? Zahir Kelvin Ong Abdullah speaks with Bursa Malaysia's CEO Datuk Fadil Muhammad only on Money Matters this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Thailand's central bank kept its key interest rate unchanged at its review on Wednesday as expected, saying it needs more time to assess the impact of rising oil prices driven by the conflict in West Asia. The Bank of Thailand's Monetary Police Committee unanimously decided to keep the one-day pre-purchase rate at 1%, its lowest level in more than 3 years. The central bank now expects the economy to grow by 1.5% this year, down from its earlier forecast of 1.9% in February, before picking up to 2% in 2027. At the same time, it raised its headline inflation forecast to an average of 2.9%, compared with a previous estimate of 0.3% made in December. gets 18 years jail over adopted son's death. This and more after this breather.
Kau nak bunuh aku? Macam mana kau bunuh sendiri? Pakai ilmu hitam kau tu? Kau nak anak kau mati. Kau tak nak apa-apa dari rumah ni. Tapi rumah ni nak sesuatu dari kau. Janji kita sudah setia.
Michelin innovates on the road and far beyond by developing an inflatable sail aimed at reducing CO2 emissions in maritime travel. Michelin, motion for life.
Wanita penuh tempo, penuh cerita. Inilah Nona, inspirasi bertemu realiti. Setiap warna mempunyai keupayaan membangkitkan pelbagai mood dan emosi. Semoga istirahat anda memberi makna yang indah walau tempohnya hanya seketika. Dan terus setia sejam bersama kami kerana Nona, inspirasi wanita untuk semua. Nona di TV3 dan stream ditonton.
Hai! Saya nak kawan boleh?
Motor mula tu memang beli memang buruk betul lah. Tapi bila tu je kita ada, tu lama-lama kita jadi minat. Lepas masuk motor show tu, dalam kepala otak saya dah dapat idea tu. Budak muda suka motor-motor baru. Siapa lagi nak teruskan pewaris motor-motor lama ni untuk masa depan nanti?
Azmi berasa bangga memiliki berpuluh-puluh keping mata wang Selangor dikategorikan sebagai jarang ditemui.
1986 tu saya pinjam metal detector untuk mencarilah. Sehingga dia pindah, saya buat cara manual. Kalau rezeki tu ada dalam 400 keping jugalah.
Welcome back. A military officer allegedly involved in a fatal drink driving crash on the Maju Expressway will be charged with murder at the Kuala Lumpur Magistrates Court on Thursday. This was confirmed by the suspect's lawyer, Muhammad Nazrin Jaafar Abdullah, on Wednesday. Earlier, City Traffic Investigation and Enforcement Department Chief, Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Zamzuri Muhammad Isa, said the investigation paper will be submitted to the Deputy Public Prosecutor on Thursday for further action. According to Zamzuri, authorities are in the process of completing the investigation paper and have so far recorded statements from 12 witnesses to assist in the probe. Last week, it was reported that police had opened a murder investigation against a soldier under Section 302 of the Penal Code in connection with the suspected drink driving case. In the incident on April 23rd, Muzahid Milad, a 22-year-old Bangladeshi tourist and gaming content creator, was killed, while 4 others were injured in the two-vehicle collision. Police said breathalyzer tests on the suspect indicated alcohol levels above the legal limit. A lorry attendant in Terengganu has been jailed for 18 years and given 2 strokes of the cane for causing the death of his adopted son. The Kuala Terengganu Sessions Court handed down the punishment after the accused 30-year-old Muhammad Firdaus Zamri pleaded guilty. Muhammad Firdaus was charged with committing the offence against 3-year-old Muhammad Adam Daniel Abdul Kafid at Kampung Banggol Katong on April 11th. He was also accused of voluntarily causing hurt to the same victim using a cane at the same location and time. The court imposed 18 years imprisonment for the first charge, as well as 4 years jail and 2 strokes of the cane for the second charge. Both sentences are to run concurrently from the date of the arrest. Okay. In Sabah, 186 people in Sandakan were left homeless after a massive fire destroyed 30 houses in Kampung Kamunting on Wednesday. The blaze comes just 10 days after a similar tragedy affected over 9,000 residents in Kampung Bahagia. Sandakan Fire and Rescue Station Chief Jimmy Lagong said a team of 21 personnel was immediately dispatched to the scene after the department received a distress call at 3:34 a.m. Firefighters took almost 1 hour to extinguish the flames, which spread rapidly across an area measuring 1.4 hectares. Their quick response in containing the inferno managed to prevent the fire from further spreading to 120 nearby houses. No casualties were reported in the incident. All affected victims have been relocated to a temporary relief center at the Kampung Air Community Hall. Philippine panel finds grounds to impeach Vice President. The details when Nightline returns.
Dulu cinta tak lekat, sekarang semua datang mendekat. Tapi sekali rapat, kan dah mendapat?
Maya putus lagi, Ma!
Orang kata dia kacau rumah tangga orang.
Yelah, beringat. Tak payah nak mengelar sangat. Ni Allah dah bagi signal lah tu.
Betul, gatal sangat ni. Kampung Gatal, tiap hari 8 malam. Drama bersiri mikro terbaru di TikTok Drama Sangat dan tonton.
Tahniah, semua finalis yang berjaya mendapat tiket ke pentas akhir anugerah juara lagu 40.
Yang banyakku menghantuiku di ruang yang ada cahaya. Hujan derita di bawah langit gempita.
Dan barisan penyanyi hebat yang telah menggegarkan persaingan AJL 40 separuh akhir. Inilah bukti kebangkitan karya generasi selamanya juara. Stream semula semua persembahan memukau finalis AJL 40 separuh akhir. Ditonton bila-bila masa sahaja.
Oh, no. Kau nak bunuh aku? Macam mana kau bunuh sendiri? Pakai ilmu hitam kau tu? Kau nak anak kau mati? Kau tak nak apa-apa dari rumah ni. Tapi rumah ni nak sesuatu dari kau. Janji kita sumpah setia.
We're back with news from the foreign front. The United States President Donald Trump on Wednesday urged Iran to get smart soon and sign a deal as efforts by Washington and Tehran to end hostilities appeared at a standstill. In a social media post, Trump, who has repeatedly insisted Tehran must not obtain a nuclear weapon, said the country couldn't get its act together. Meanwhile, media reports said the president had instructed aides to prepare for a prolonged blockade of Iran's ports, aimed at forcing Tehran to back down. U.S. officials stated Trump has opted to intensify pressure on Iran's economy and oil exports by restricting shipping to and from its ports. They also said Trump believed that other options, such as resuming bombing or withdrawing from the conflict, carried greater risk than maintaining the blockade. Russia said the decision by the United Arab Emirates, UAE, to leave the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, could have major implications for the global oil market. Its finance minister, Anton Siluanov, on Wednesday said that without the UAE in the group, oil-producing countries may increase production, which could push global oil prices lower in the future. Siluanov stressed that oil prices are currently being supported by the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. However, his forecast of an oversupply applies to a future scenario when the passage is eventually reopened. Despite the decision by the UAE to leave, Russia plans to stay in OPEC+, voicing hopes that the alliance of oil producers would continue to operate amid turmoil in the global energy market. Indonesia's Transport Ministry has formed a special team to investigate the involvement of a green SM electric taxi in a train collision that killed 16 people near Jakarta on Monday night. According to Director General of Land Transport, An Suhanan, the probe will examine key aspects of the taxi operator's operations. An said a special team has been set up to investigate the involvement of Green SM Electric Taxi, including its licensing, administrative compliance, safety standards, and adherence to public transport regulations. He also stressed that public safety remains a top priority and any potential violations will be addressed in accordance with regulations. In the incident, the taxi was crossing the tracks when it broke down and was hit by a train approaching the nearby East Bekasi station. Train operator Kereta Api Indonesia reportedly instructed a second commuter train travelling in the opposite direction to remain at East Bekasi station. But a third train travelling from Jakarta to Surabaya in East Java crashed into the stationary commuter train, crushing passengers who were in a packed all-female carriage at the rear. The Philippine House of Representatives Justice Committee on Wednesday found probable cause to impeach Vice President Sara Duterte, moving a step closer to a process that could derail her presidential bid. All 53 committee members voted in favor of the move, finding sufficient grounds to proceed. The complaint will be submitted to the House plenary for a vote when Congress resumes next month, and if backed by at least one-third of lawmakers, it will proceed to an impeachment trial in the Senate. If convicted, she would be removed from office and banned from politics for life. Duterte faces allegations from civil society and leftist groups, including misuse of public funds, unexplained wealth, and alleged threats against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., his family, and former House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Switching to sports now, badminton, the 2026 Thomas Cup. Malaysia ended their Group B campaign on a losing note after falling 2-3 to 2014 champions Japan in Horsens, Denmark on Wednesday. With top spot in the group at stake, Malaysia made a tactical decision to reshuffle their men's doubles pairings, splitting up their main duo Aaron Chia and Soh Wo Yik. Japan took the lead after world number 25 singles shuttler Leong Junhao suffered another defeat, losing 11-21, 15-21 to Kodai Naraoka. Doubles pair Aaron and T. Kai Woon produced the night's lone bright spark for Malaysia, coming from behind to stun world number 24 Kakeru Kumagai and Hiroki Nishi 16-21, 21-14, 21-19 to level the tie 1-all. Japan restored their lead as Justin Ho went down 15-21, 12-21 to Yushi Tanaka in the second singles, adding to Malaysia's misery. Any hopes of forcing a decider were ended in the second doubles, where Wu Yik and Nur Izzuddin Rumsani lost 21-14, 19-21, 19-21 to Takumi Nomura and Yuichi Shimogami. World number 82 Lee Zijia then defeated world number 20 Koki Watanabe 21-13, 21-19 in the third singles, which was a dead rubber. Both nations had already secured their quarter-final berths before the tie commenced, with Japan claiming the Group B top seeding by virtue of Wednesday's result. Turning to Wushu, the 2026 World Taji Chuan Championships. The national contingent continued their medal haul by securing 2 silver medals and 1 bronze on the third day of the competition on Wednesday. This brings Malaysia's overall medal tally to 3 gold, 7 silver and 3 bronze ahead of the tournament's conclusion on Thursday. The first silver medal of the day was secured by Kwan Yong-shin in the women's Taiji Shan CB category. Yong-shin recorded 9.516 points, finishing behind Singapore's Lo Jian Ji Ning, who claimed the gold medal. The second silver of the day came from Chow Carmen Jia Ming in the women's Taiji Chuan CV and C category. Meanwhile, Yap Eason Yi Zheng secured a bronze medal in the men's Taiji Chuan CB and C category. Earlier in the competition, Wong Ji Hong won Malaysia's first gold medal on the opening day last Saturday. This was followed by a gold from Li Cheng on the second day, before Chen Mandy Izabelle added a third gold on Tuesday. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at French and Brazilian forces conducting joint amphibious drills off Rio de Janeiro under France's Jean d'Arc mission. With that, I'm Izabelle Choong. Thank you for watching and take care.